almost certain I've not hit record. Hello folks, and welcome to the Dirty Drives channel. Just to do a bit of driving around, talk bollocks for a few minutes, maybe point out some places of interest, you just never know, put the world to rights, stuff like that. If you find my stuff interesting and you want to join along, then please subscribe to the channel, the Dirty Drives channel. This is my 2013 Skoda Fabia Monte Carlo 1.6 TDI. We've had it since 37,500 miles in 2017. It is now the middle of March 2023 and we've got 101,000 miles just over, so we've done over 60,000 miles in this car in the last 6 years, and it's not quite bog standard. Came out of the factory with 105 horsepower or 105 PS, 103 horsepower, 1.6 TDI common rail, the CAYC engine code for those who are a bit nerdy on these things, Volkswagen engine, VAG group engine. When I knew I was getting this car, I got in contact with Blue Spark Automotive because I've been seeing some good stuff about them and I wanted to get a tuning box. So initially, oh by the way, we won the A650 here in Morley, Mermaid chippy to your right, as well as the Asda. Morley, West Yorkshire, by the way. So I contacted Blue Spark Automotive about their Pro tuning box. I think it was 200 quid. I did want to get the Pro Plus Boost, but it did involve getting underneath the car there's another connector for the turbo sensor, boost sensor or something, and at the time I didn't have any means of getting underneath the car to take the under tray off, so I just ordered the Pro module, fitted that, noticed an instant change in response, power. It's supposed to take it, by their figures, to 131 PS. Enjoyed that for a few weeks. In the meantime, I made myself some ramps out of wood, so I thought, right, I can get under the car now. I contacted Blue Spark Automotive again, and for just 80 quid I sent the old unit back. They sent it back reprogrammed with a new harness with the extra connector on, so I could you know, give me more boost. And when I had the boost gauge fitted to the car, it did seem to give an extra 2 psi of boost. So then that took it to 135 PS, which is about 133 horsepower. Not really noticed a change in the performance, but I suppose for 2 horsepower you're not going to do. But we're really happy with the car for quite a while. That I was getting mid 9 seconds to 60. This guy go. Flash him again. Obviously blind. And then I started, sorry, I'm just giving you loads of info about this car now. And then I started messing around the car, like my own water methanol kit, and it didn't really seem to work. So I ended up in October 2018, I contacted Darkside. And they did me a custom stainless 2.5 inch catback back box delete exhaust, stainless steel, did I mention that? And that was a noticeable improvement in power. You know, I don't know what point you start noticing power increases, so it's 5-10 horsepower, but I noticed it. The car seemed a bit freer, especially at the top end. So I ran with that, happy as Larry, for a while. And in the meantime, liking to bodge and mess around with things, what did I do? I debaffled the intake snorkel, so I think it's a snow guard. I took all that out. I got an Audi A1 1.4 TFSI, wrong lane, charge pipe, because the standard 1.6 TDI charge pipe is quite restrictive just after the intake snorkel. You know, whereas this one, a lot bigger, allow more air into the airbox. I also had a K&N cotton, you know, reusable air filter. I took out the Dieselgate mass airflow straightener, because that was fitted by Skoda when I got the recall. Not knowing exactly what they did, I just took it along for the recall, and I didn't notice a power drop off, even with the tuning box fitted. My bad. So I took that flow straightener off, because it was quite restrictive, the amount of air it was blocking getting into the engine. I also debaffled the turbo damper, so I could actually hear the turbo a little bit more. I think you're probably going to get only extra horsepower to on that. I know the same. I think it's the same turbo damper fit to the Mark 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mark 6 Golf GTI, and a company in America did a billet aluminium turbo damper straight through. On the dyno, they noticed a 5 horsepower increase by fitting that. So 1 or 2, you know, it all helps. I did that. Then what? Oh, and then in the Black Friday deals, back in whenever it was, 2022, I ordered a dark side induction kit, and a couple of days later that turned up, and I spent the next hour or 2 fitting that, and now I get nice little whooshy turbo-y boosty things going on now. I don't know if this camera's picking it up. Not really. Not really noticed any increase in performance. Whether it's negative placebo, I think, because I'm expecting something, because I'm hearing the extra whooshes, and you know, it's like got rid of the old airbox, fit the dark side induction kit. I might include a picture here somewhere. So even though it's not got proper OEM, a proper ECU tune on it, I have got the box, and it's a marked increase in performance over the standard car. I think we're pushing the low 140 horsepowers. The tuning box is supposed to get about 132. The exhaust was a noticeable increase. I've done the turbo damper, the charge pipe, the intake snorkel, and now the induction kit. So I think I can comfortably say I'm in the 140s range. And when I've been driving alongside cars that I do know the power of, and I've come off better than them, shall we say, then that's what gives me that impression I'm running at least 140, 145 horsepower. I've just done earlier a 0-61 on a bypass with my Talk app on my phone, and I recorded it with a crappy camera, so I don't know if that's picked it up. But I did record my best time, my best 0-60 time with the least amount of wheel spin, the best start off. I did get an 8.702, I think it was. 0-60 time, I think it was 9.1, 0-62. So that's slightly better than the Mk1 Fabia VRS at the time. Those figures I think was 9.2 to 62 or to 60 back in the day. So slightly better. Again, that emphasises the 140, 145 horsepower estimated. So it's, I like to call it OEM stage 1 plus or stage 1 plus type. You know, I'm just talking bollocks here, folks. You know, you've fallen asleep by now. I do apologise. So we're now in East Ardsley, heading towards Wakefield. Anything of note? SO Garage, let's have a look. So what date is it today? Oh, I can't remember. Is it the 14th of March? It's a Tuesday anyway. It's around about that, 2023. And clearly we're running on diesel, as it's a diesel car. I can see there it is 162.9 for diesel at SO. Although I do fill up at Asda and I put in the fuel additive, that EHN-1, whatever it is, that fuel additive. It's supposed to improve the CT rating and reduce knock and all that. I keep forgetting to put it in the tank. He only had about 50 millilitres to the tank. What I haven't done in a long time is use some injector cleaner. I could really do with doing that. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I do have an engine light. It's been on a week now. It's the EGR cooler EGR cooler valve open circuit. Car's running fine, or it seems to be. I emailed Darkside, and a chap there called Tony got back to me because I give him the screenshots of the codes off the Carista app, because I've got an OBD dongle of the Carista app, and he seems to reckon, yeah, it's the EGR cooler, and to get a new one fitted by them, it's just over 600 quid. I don't know if that's good or that's bad, you know, but something like that I would easily consider driving down to Barnsley and getting that done by those guys. If I had any money, I'd probably get the 170 horsepower kit install, which is the bigger turbo. I think it's off the Golf, and also a remap. That'd really liven the engine up a little bit, but haven't got the money for that. Can't have everything. So this is still the A650 heading to Wakefield. Point of interest, just behind those trees there, there's the police, I don't know if it's a training or centre or something back there, just down there. Just down there, that's where the helicopter, the police helicopter station there as well. Well, it used to be, I don't know if it still is. This section's 40. There's a bit of heat, it's getting a bit chilly. I'll give you a little bit of a blast in a minute. I don't know if the camera's picking up the speedo, but if I can off this roundabout, if opportunity opens up, I'll give it the beans. See what you think. It's no Golf R, clearly. Right. So I'm doing 26 mile an hour. Give me the beans. It's 50. 70. It does alright in traffic, I suppose. As we're getting to springtime, we're getting some thermally clouds developing now. Some straggly cumulus and that. Although I'm very rusty on the old I'll do a Yui on the roundabout. I'm very rusty on the old meteorology stuff. I was a pilot in a former life. Oh, he's not going round as well, is he? Oh no. Right, come off this roundabout. I'm doing 26 again. Bang, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I have noticed since I fitted the induction kit that the the RPM is a little bit freer over 4,000 RPM. It used to really noticeably die off before. If you're best changing at 4,000 RPM really. If you did cane it, it would drop off quite noticeably in second gear. You'd notice it most of second gear. Now it's not as pronounced, so I think the engine can just breathe that little bit better. It's only a 5-speed box, but it's not badly geared. It'll, if you really rag the nuts out up to 5,000 RPM at the red line, it will do 80 in third. I'm not going to be able to do that here because I'm coming up to the 40 zone in a minute. It's a nice induction going on, but I'm not sure the camera's going to pick that up over the tyre noise. Oh, and back in 2018 I changed the brakes myself, the front brakes, because they were a bit thin. I fitted black diamond discs and EBC green stuff pads, and that was about 50,000 miles. The car's done 51,000 miles, and we had some new tyres put on back in September. They told me that the pads are going to outlast the discs. There's at least another 30 odd thousand miles in them, so they grip easily as good as the stock pads, but they seem to have a lot longer life in them. I don't know if people are finding that with the EBC green stuff pads. Tell you what, shall I jump northbound on the M1? Is this woman going the same way? I think she is. Steady as she goes. So tell me folks in the comments if you're bored stiff already, you find this kind of stuff interesting. I will be trying to do more in-depth content in other videos. I just wanted to give you an introduction to the car and myself. It's failed MOT a few times over silly little things, nothing serious. That'd be something you could probably answer in the comment section. The EGR cooler, because it's something to do with it's on the emission side of things. Would that be an MOT fail, or do they not check what your engine light is? As long as it stops and the lights work and the steering works, do they leave you pretty much alone? Average speed cameras. I'll jump on at 62 westbound, where we can still go really slow. I don't need to drop to third really. Just thought I'd do this. It soon gets from 40 to 50 in third. Oh, I think it's going to rain. Here comes the rain. Oh, shitty bollocks. Traffic. Whose idea was this? Oh, is that a Lotus? to think I know my cars, but I'm not that brilliant. Yeah, it's a Lotus. I think his name's Dan. Hi, Dan. Dan! Leisurely drive. So, anything else I can tell you about the cars? I told you about the engine, the exhaust, the brakes, the fault. Also on the last MOT, back in, it's due December, we always get into the month before, did it in November. Some of the suspension pins are corroded. I think some of the suspension bushes are starting to crack. That's something I've tried to be preventative of ever since I've got the car. I've got some aerospace 303 protectant spray. Now I had this when I used to paraglide to try and extend the life of the paragliding material from the UV rays of the sun. And what I used to do, although I don't know if I did it last year, every summer I take all the wheels off one by one. I give everything a good clean, soapy water, brush, hose pipe, really clean up everything rubber. So the gaiters, suspension bushes, the steering bits. I give it a really good clean, soapy water brush, a rinse off, and then I'd spray it with 303 protectant and just leave it. And I'd like to think that's prolonged the life of the. I've got no split gaiters and only slight cracking in the suspension bushes, which say the car's done 101,000 miles. I don't think that's bad. So we did have a Fabia before this, a bog standard shitty looking one, and we started getting knocking in the bushes wearing out well before 100,000 miles. Well before. I tried to take care of washing the car. I tried to get the hose pipe under the arches and things like that. But it's a 10-year-old car now, and you know, things are rusting, paint's falling off underneath. You know, what do you expect? It's a daily driver. I've done over 60,000 miles in it in 6 years. Raindrops are falling on my head. Availablecars.com, just down there to the right. Is it availablecars.com? Might be availablecars.com, but I don't keep up with these things. Personally, not the kind of place I'd go for a vehicle. That's just personally. Nothing against them personally. I'll tell you what I do want though, folks, and it has changed slightly these past couple of days. Haven't got the money for one, but wanted a Maserati for a long time, and yes, I know you're going to tell me it's going to break down every 5 minutes and you can't get the parts, and when you can get the parts it's going to cost an effing fortune. I know. But I remember, just when they came out, I was picking the wife up from work one day, 15 years ago, and I saw my first in black Maserati Gran Turismo, and a guy was just getting in it as I pulled up to wait for the missus. And when that thing started up and he pulled away, that noise. Oh. But seeing as I've got a daughter and a dog, as much as I love the Gran Turismo, and you know, it's all hypothetical, but if I could afford a Maserati and could afford to run it, I think it'd have to be a quadruporte. I can't even say it. Quattroporte. No, JM's had one on YouTube. Lovely plush interior, and it's going to have its faults. It'd have to be the 4.2, not the 4.7. But still, 400 horsepower, and it's a 2-ton car almost, but under 6 seconds to 60 for an express saloon. I don't know. Prior to that, I was on about getting for his next car Giulia, Alfa Romeo Giulia, either diesel or petrol. I mean, the petrol is mental. You get the standard super petrol, 197 horsepower, and just with the remap, you're taking it to 310 because it's the same engine, the same turbo on the Veloce, which has got 277 horsepower. You know. It's because we're weighing up this car now. We've had it, like I say, 6 years. We paid about £7 for it. It's worth about 2.5. Is it worth that with a fault and the MOT advisor is? I don't know. It's snowing. You know, where's the point where you have to stop, keep throwing money at this and just? I mean, we could get a loan out, maybe 3, 4, 5 grand. Get everything sorted, that's at fault. It's going to need the timing belt and the water pump, the auxiliary belts and all fluids changed, ideally this year, but we'll have to leave it until next year because the finances. You know, the clutch is probably on borrowed time now, 101,000 miles on the clock. They're not cheap. I don't know, folks. Anywho, I hope you're still all awake and you've been following along and enjoyed it. If not, tell me why. If you have, tell me why. Maybe what you'd like to see in the next outing when I go down a different route. Point out other interesting and not so interesting places and facts and shit. Anywho, folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, all that nonsense, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye for now.